Hey everyone, Shin here. So I just wanted to make a quick little video for you guys on 5 of the reasons why I enjoy the combat system in Guild Wars 2. A number of people have asked me why I stick with the game and what has kept me in the game for as long as I've played it, and the number one answer to that is the combat system. This is one of the most fun combat systems I've had in an MMO in a very long time. So with that, I'm going to give you guys just 5 of the reasons why I enjoy it so much. This is not a top 5 list, nor are these all the reasons, but these are the 5 that came to my mind when I was thinking of making this video. Alright, so the first reason is the fact that you don't actually need a target for a majority of the skills in the game. You could be standing anywhere in the world with no targets, no enemies around, and still be able to swing your sword or throw your fireballs. The fact that you don't have to have anything targeted to still use your skills, yet they will still have their effects if they do hit something, means you can position yourself in clever ways that allow you to hit multiple targets at one time. With certain range skills that have a piercing effect on their projectiles, it allows a player to set themselves up in a way where a bunch of enemies are lined up, and then that player, without a target, can aim those projectiles through all of the enemies they want to hit and get the benefits of that projectile on all of the enemies. In certain combat situations, it may actually be more beneficial to not have anything targeted and use a range skill, and you'll be able to hit your targets that you otherwise wouldn't be able to hit if you had them targeted through the UI. Manually aiming certain skills will allow you to aim their trajectory, such as with the Engineer's Mortar Kit, to hit certain targets that are, say, behind walls or over cliffs and whatnot. If you manually target these skills in the right situation, it allows you to hit targets without having to worry about them being obstructed. A second reason for why I enjoy the game's combat is the fact that projectiles fired from skills act as true projectiles. This means that if someone is, say, firing a mortar shot at you from a long distance, and you can see that projectile coming, you can sidestep, and that projectile will hit the ground where you were standing. It will not home in on you. Another example is, say, a ranger is firing a volley of arrows at you, and you have a wall that you can hide behind. You can hide behind that wall, and even if the ranger has you targeted and is aiming at you, those projectiles will not go through that wall. They will hit the wall and be destroyed, and you won't have to worry about getting hit. Let's say there's an elementalist throwing fireballs at your ally, and you are a warrior with a shield. What you could do is you could raise your shield, walk in the way of those fireballs, and then destroy the projectiles on your shield, and negated the attacks that the elementalist is throwing at you. The third reason on this list is the fact that the weapon that your character has equipped makes an actual difference in how you are able to fight things. For example, an elementalist with a dagger is a very close-range magic user with very short-range spells focused around keeping up close to people and doing a lot of pseudo-melee damage, whereas an elementalist with a staff is about staying at a very long range, throwing fireballs, calling down meteor showers, throwing water fields out to help allies. And this dynamic between weapons, even within certain classes themselves, allows for very different types of gameplay in every aspect of the game. Having certain skills for each class tied to certain weapons means that in places, say, like PvP, you have a better idea of what your opponent is going to be able to use against you by seeing what weapon they are carrying. You are able to physically tell some of the abilities that the character is going to have at their disposal just by seeing what weapon they have, as opposed to taking random guesses at what skills they may have equipped. Now, the fourth reason plays off of the previous 3 that I just gave you, and that is the fact that you can have a lot of active defense and a lot of active counterplay in the game using a combination of how projectiles work, the fact that you don't need targets and you can position yourself based on that, and the fact that your weapons actually determine what abilities you have. This allows, say, a warrior with a shield to reflect projectiles whenever they raise that shield and block, meaning if a ranger is attacking one of your friends, you can run in the way of those arrows, raise your shield, and then shoot those arrows back at the ranger. Another good example is, as a thief player, you could see a guardian with a hammer going in for a bunch of big attacks on your allies, and with the right timing, you could teleport yourself into where that guardian and your ally are, and drop a smoke field that will prevent the guardian's next attack from hitting your ally. And then finally, a fifth reason for why I enjoy the combat in Guild Wars 2 as much as I do is the combo field system and how certain skills can interact with one another to create new effects. For example, if you had an elementalist and a ranger together, the elementalist could drop a wall of fire on the ground, and then the ranger could fire a volley of arrows through that wall, and each arrow would be lit on fire, which would then burn whatever their target was. Another example would be a warrior with a longbow lighting up a portion of the ground around them with fire, and then switching to a sword and leaping through it to give themselves a fire shield. It's all of these reasons and more put together that really make me enjoy the combat, because all of these things create different combat situations and spice up the gameplay and give me different tools to deal with different situations. At any rate, those are just 5 of the reasons why I enjoy Guild Wars 2's combat over a lot of other online games I've played, and if you are, say, new to the game or you are looking into picking up the game, hopefully this video has maybe given you a better impression of Guild Wars 2's combat than you may have seen before. And with that, this was just a fun little video I wanted to put together. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and with that, I will see you in the next video or around the stream. Take care.